everybody. Kick my shoes off. Tammy Maud here in Vicenza, Italy, and I would like to welcome you to my yard. Thought we could do some yoga together. I hope that all of you guys are adjusting to our new way of living and trying to keep the anxiety and the stress down. So I thought we would start today with a body check. If you want to get props, the only thing that we would need would be blocks. And since I know that not all of you practice yoga regularly and you may not have blocks, I just pulled a couple books out, so I'm going to use those in lieu of a block, and a blanket if you choose. I always like to use a blanket with my when I'm setting my mantra in the beginning and during Shavasana. So that's totally up to you. So if you want to get those props, then restart the video. Okay, we're going to begin today with a body check. So let's just start with the top of our head and totally relax. Try to take my glasses off. Totally relax our heads, our temples, our eyes, relaxing our eyes, our jawbone. This one's a big one for me. Maybe make a big open mouth and then relax it. Clench your teeth, your chin, our throat. Maybe take a big inhale and let it out the mouth. Our chest, our heart. Open our shoulders. And down to our digestive tract, to our stomach. Intestines. Our hips. Down our thighs. Into our knees. Okay, at this time, let's get comfortable. For if some of you, it may be a seated position, and for others, it may be lying back. And today, I'm going to lie back, and I'm going to place my blanket under my knees. Okay. I hope the volume is a little bit better. I'm working, trying to get this volume to raise, but if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, Tammy Maud, you can use your remote and make the volume louder if it's not loud enough, streaming it from your phone. So, okay, let's just lie back, or you can stay in a comfortable seated position. And we're going to work again today on thoracic breathing. So we're going to work on this area as we do our inhale and exhales through the nostrils. We are going to feel the thoracic region elevate as we take in a nice big inhale. And we hold that at the top. And then a nice exhale and let the ribs slowly come down. And you feel it slowly come down and the small of your back melt into the mat. So let's just do a few of these breaths. I'm inhaling to like a count of 6, and then I'm holding it for 2 at the top, And then I'm releasing it to a count of 8. And everybody's going to be different depending on your air capacity, your practice. All of these things come into play. So let's just do a few rounds of breath, thoracic breathing. Okay, now we're going to work on our Ujjayi breath, which is the big breath in. And again, you can do this at like a count. I'm going to do it like a count of 6 in, hold at the top for 2, and release at the count of 8. The difference with this breath is we are not concentrating on the thoracic region as much as the throat. We are going to make an audible sound as we kind of do a catch in the throat, so that it'll actually sound like a snore, and it will be audible also on the exhale. So. As you're doing your breathing, continue to breathe. Think about your body check again. Totally letting everything relax inside of you. Just coming to the breath. Let all the worries and the stressors of the day fade away. Just you and your breath. At this time, let's set our intention. And an intention can be a word, a prayer, a mantra, something you're wanting to bring into your daily life, or something that you're wanting to cast out into the universe. At this time, we will concentrate on our breath and we'll set our intention. When your intention has been set, let's do an audible exhale to send it out into the universe. If you're lying down, let's make our way up. And we're going to start our practice today on our feet. So take your time getting up. Just take a few breaths. Okay, now we're going to start with our head back, and we're going to make the ah sound, because we're going to work on opening our throat chakra as we do this. So on the inhale, it's going to be ah. Exhale, ooh, with our chin to chest. So let's just do a few of those. Ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. Okay, now let's add our hands into this and our arms. So on ah, we're going to have jazz hands extended out. So it'll be ah and ooh, bringing the hands into the shoulders. So, ah, ooh, Okay, now we're going to add our feet. So on ah, we're going to I'll start with my right and step the right foot forward. Ah. And back to center. Ooh. And now left. Ah. Ooh. Okay, alternating. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Okay. If you're still working, do one on each side and then meet me in the middle here. Ooh, get my mat dusty. Okay. Now we're going to do a couple banana stretches. And I just have my feet, I don't really have my toes together. They're a little bit apart. So I'm going to inhale my hands up. And we're going to just bend from this upper part over to the right. And just feel a nice stretch there. You can kind of look up to the heavens. Just breathe here for a little bit. Okay, inhale back to center. Now let's take that same stretch to the left. Remember our breathing that we practiced. Ujjayi breath can be used all throughout our practice. Inhale up. Okay, now let's go back to the right. And this time, let's kind of swing forward over to our left. And then forward over to our right. Let's do that a few more times on your own. Just at your own pace and feeling the stretch, whatever's good for you. Okay, up. And now let's just drop it all the way down. And go all the way down. I'm going to turn sideways so you can sit into a forward fold. And just relax here. You can do a micro bend on your knees. We're just getting warmed up. So sometimes opposite elbows and just kind of let yourself hang heavy. Slowly come back up. And we're going to go to the top of our mat, maybe 1 or 2 foot lengths back. And let's roll our shoulders back. And inhale our arms up. And let's bend back to forward fold. Okay, let's place our hands on the mat if you can reach them. And if you can't, you can use your books. And as many books as you need, to try to get your hands where you can use them. Okay, now we're going to take our right leg and we're going to inhale it back into a 45-degree angle. And then we're going to inhale our arms up, coming into a form of warrior 1. taking the left hand in the front and the right hand in the back. And then we're going to view over the left front middle finger into Warrior Two. And you can take this as deep as you'd like. Some people may be up here and others may be all the way down here. Coming back to our breath and coming back to our intention. Okay, now let's kind of inhale forward and bring that front arm up, bringing the back arm down, the back of the thigh, into Peaceful Warrior. Remember keeping all of this open so you can really feel the stretching all through this whole region and engage the glutes so that you don't put too much strain on your lower back. I'm underneath a huge pine and it is gorgeous to look up through all of these branches, just thinking about what each of them has seen throughout the year. Okay, let's inhale back to Warrior Two. Now we're going to take this front arm and we're going to place it down on our knee, and we're going to bring the back arm up and think of maybe like a sliding board. The sun's getting a little bit bright. I'm going to put my glasses on. Think of like a sliding board from the tip of your finger down to your foot, and remember that back foot, don't roll it in. Keep your pinky side of the foot, the outer edge, on the mat if you can. On this, I always gaze up to my fingertip again. Okay, now let's come back to Warrior Two. And this time, we're going to take the front hand and up like a peace sign with the thumb out. And we're going to take this front and we're going to pull it back like we have a bow and an arrow. Just kind of pulsate down in this position, feeling that all in our inner thighs. Try to keep a straight line, keep this elbow elevated. Okay, now let's come back to a Warrior Two. Back to Warrior One. Okay, let's step that back foot back up to meet the front and slowly roll down again and relax. Relax our lower backs. You can do a micro bend in the knee. Let's come back, placing our hands again on the books or on the mat if you can reach the mat. And we're going to inhale the left foot back. So let's raise it up and plant it in a 45-degree angle. And let's raise ourselves up into Warrior One on this side. Coming back to our breath, coming back to our intention. De-stressing our body. Okay, open into Warrior Two. inhale forward a little bit and bringing that arm up and peering into the heavens. When we do this pose, try not to come back out of the front knee. Remember to lean back into that knee. Okay, back to warrior two. Remember keeping everything open, nice. So we're going to take our front hand and place it down on the knee and bring the rear arm up. And we're doing our slide on this side. Remember engaging so that you feel all the stretch through all of this region. You can head to roll open. Okay, let's come back up to warrior two. And this time take your back arm forward and make your peace sign with your thumb on this side. And let's pull back our ball, keeping that elbow elevated. Arm extended. And let's pulsate on this side a little bit. Back to two. And back to one. Remember your breathing. And bring that foot back up. And let's slowly roll back down. Okay, now you can continue to use your books, and we're going to need them probably in a few minutes when we're doing another pose. But like if you can't reach the mat, please continue to use them. So now we're going to place our hands on the mat, and we're going to slowly, if you need a micro bend, perfect, but not a big bend, just a little bend. And we're going to try to lift from the hip, and bring our feet back. Baby step. And we're going to go back until we are in a down dog. And in down dog, your feet are hips width apart. And a good way to check your down dog to see if you're in the right position is inhale forward into plank, and then back to down dog. Okay, let's drop our knees to the mat and our toes together and come down to our first child's pose. Okay, let's inhale back up and tuck our toes. And we're going back into our down dog. Let's just kind of walk the dog a little bit. Maybe lift our heels up so high. And then now try to plant those heels to the mat. Now let's inhale into plank. And just kind of hold that. And if this is too much, you're still working on your upper body strength, please drop your knees. Okay, let's go back to down dog. And we're going to inhale our right leg up high and open our hip. And our view is going to be under our right armpit. And we'll stretch that leg. And you might bend it if that feels good. We're just opening our hip, doing a nice stretch. And back up. And inhale that back down. Now let's try that same thing on the left. Inhaling our left high to the sky and opening our hip, peering under our left armpit. You can bend your knee. And bring that back down. Drop your knees, toes together, and child's pose. And if you need to rest your shoulders or your arms, you can put your hands in prayer hands behind the back of your head. Or you can even bring them down and rest them on your feet. I love child's pose. This is just something that I can do and come back to my breath and my intention, and it really can relieve stress for me. And sometimes when we're doing the yoga practice, if something's just too outrageous or too hard, you can always just go to child's pose. Okay, now let's come back up, tuck our toes, and go back in to down dog. And we're going to inhale to our plank. And remember, knees down, if that's better for you. And now we're going to lower down, lower our chest down, chin down. And then we're going to sweep forward into up dog. And with this, we want our legs are off the mat if you can. That's what we're working towards. And shoulders back and peering up into the heavens. Then we tuck our toes and we go back to our down dog. Inhale forward to plank. And slowly drop down, keeping the elbows in. And sweeping forward to dog. Tucking our toes and back to down dog. Let's do this 2 more times. one more time. Drop your knees, toes together, and child's pose. Okay, let's come back up into our down dog. This time we're going to inhale our right leg up, and we are going to bring it in, and we are going to place it, our knee, the right knee on the inside of the right palm. And come down, we're setting up for pigeon. Now this is another time that our books will come into play. The whole idea is for us to be straight and our hips squared in alignment. So if we cannot do this without the books, you can always place the books under you. And it on your front foot, I'll try to turn here to face the camera. Some people will have their heel back, like at an angle, and other people will be able to do the parallel across. And that depends on you and your practice. So we're just learning this today, so you do what is working for you. So once again, inhaling the right leg up and bring it forward, and the back leg is down, the top of the foot down, and both hands planted here and looking up. Let's take a few breaths in there, and remember, don't lean over. If you feel like you're going to lean, just place a book there. Okay, now we are going to slowly lower ourselves down, and if you can touch your head to the mat, fantastic. If not, you can use books or blankets or whatever you need. You can stack your arms. And we're just going to rest here in this position. And you should feel the stretch all through your hips. This is a nice opener. Let's inhale our bodies up again, having our hands planted. We're going to tuck that back toe, and we're going to bring that front leg back and drop. Okay, now let's try that with our left leg. So inhaling the left leg up, and bend it, bringing it through, and placing it in front of our bodies. Now for me this side, I have to see, I'm wanting to roll over, so I'm going to use a book. Because we want that, the idea is to keep this all square and in alignment. Okay, now that we are in position, let's lower ourselves down and rest our heads on our arms, our mat, books, blanket. Really feeling the stretch. This is pigeon. Coming back to our breath and coming back to our intention. Okay, now let's come back up. And if you have books or blocks, you can remove those. And let's tuck that back foot. And bring that front foot back and down. And let's drop our knees and into child's pose. Okay, let's come back up and go back into our down dog. And we're going to do the hip walk that we did to get back. And we're going to do that to meet up in front. So let's just slowly lift and step. And now that when we're up here, take your time, but when you get there, a micro bend in the knee, and slowly. Shoulders back. And breathe. Okay. I'm gonna get a drink real quick here. Okay, now we're going to do a balancing posture before we go to Shavasana, before we close the practice. So let me see what I did with my glasses. Okay, we're going to work on tree. We've done this one before, and if you are needing a wall or something, you can go there now. It's great for balancing. So we're going to start with tree, and we have our feet maybe like a fist length apart, maybe. Okay. And we're going to start with our right leg, and we're going to point it out. And now we're going to bring it into the ankle. And next you can raise it up to the inner shin, the inner calf. Or you can bring it all the way up to your inner thigh. Do not stop on the knee. Do not place it on the knee. We don't want to cause any kind of an injury. But even just here, this is glorious. Okay, now my pants are very slick, so I don't know. I may be leaving mine down at the knee, below the knee. Let's bring our hands to heart center, and let's raise our hands up into our beautiful tree, balancing. Coming back to our breath and coming back to our intention. Tree. Maybe you're a weeping willow, a weeping pine. I'm under a weeping pine right now. And if you fall out, great. Just try to get back. And come back. Bring your hands down. And remember, keeping this squared and open. And let's bring it down. Okay, now let's try this on the left. So let's point our left leg out and bring it in, and you can stay right there at the ankle. You can bring it up to the inner calf or up out here with all this movement, it's more difficult. When I'm in Shala, I usually always try to gaze at a non-moving focal point. It's excellent for keeping your balance. And out here, everything's moving. All of these birds and butterflies and leaves are blowing, and it's hard to get that non-moving focal point. Okay. Remember to come back to our breath. Shake it all out. Okay. Let's just do a few of these. Kind of wind down. Keeping your feet like hips distance apart and your hips kind of squared. And then just kind of turning this upper body. Done wonderful today. Let's find our way to Shavasana, also known as the corpse pose. I like to use a blanket under my knee during Shavasana, and please get comfortable. Whatever's good for you. Remember, palms up for receiving or palms down for grounding. And let's lie back and raise up and tuck the shoulder blades. And back down. Coming back to our breath, coming back to our intention. Just thinking how you've shown up for yourself today. To experience love and live a loving life, you have to allow yourself to be loved. And I believe that we start with loving ourselves. As we love ourselves and give ourselves self-care, then we can feel worthy of receiving love and giving love to others. Okay, let's bring a little movement back by wiggling our toes, wiggling our fingers, raising our hands above our head and do a full big body stretch. And now let's roll to one side, using that bottom arm as a pillow and the top arm in front of our chest, placing our hand on the mat. in fetal position, just taking a few breaths here. You deserve it. Okay, let's make our way up to seated. Bring our hands to heart center or Eagle Mudra. Take a few more breaths. I hope that you feel less stress after this practice. You think about it. How many days can we go without water? A body can actually go without water so many days. How many days can you go without food? Several days. But we can never go without breath. Breath moves us. Breath creates us. And throughout stressful moments or stressful days, just stop and think, hey, am I breathing? Many times you won't be. You will be holding your breath. Remember to breathe. It keeps us going. It's been my pleasure guiding you today, and I hope that each of you keep loving and living. Namaste.